What is going on, Busy Bariatrics? I'm your host, Rob Demedio, and we are back for another episode. Every year, like clockwork, bariatric patients panic as summer creeps closer. Diets gets extreme, workouts get frantic, desperation starts to set in to get summer ready. But what if I told you that's the wrong way to go about it? In this episode, I'm breaking down when you should actually start losing weight for pool season, why the last minute panic never works, and the real strategy to look and feel your best without crash diets or insane cardio marathons. If you're tired of the summer weight loss scramble, keep listening because we're about to change how you approach this for good. Prior to bariatric surgery, I definitely was that person who, the second the warm air hits, I would be already of, oh God, I have to go lifeguard at a pool. When I was in high school and in college, I could lifeguard it. It was a simple way to work. I could ride my bike in high school and I would get up there. And in high school, you got to remember, like I'm running, I'm lifting, I'm training. I have no problem like just eating whatever the heck I want, working out for like 3 to 4 hours after school, running around the building, and then going to bed and rinsing and repeating. And I really did not have to worry about my weight. I would pretty much not do any sort of training. I would not have to worry about swimming because I knew, like, I'm good at lifeguard. I will be fine. I just need to get started. Go to college, and I essentially stop working out. I pack on the freshman 15, and I get to about May 1st, like right close to when finals are. And I'm looking at myself with my shirt off in the mirror. I'm like, oof, it is going to be a rough summer if I have to get up on the guard stand looking like this. And I tell myself, what's the quickest way I can lose weight quickly? I went with everything I remembered out of my playbook. I started running like 3-4 miles at a time, and I would live on 2 Slim Fast shakes. I would eat dinner, and then I would drink like 4 or 5 days a week. And I would rinse and repeat that process. And I lost about close to 10 to 15 pounds. I'm like, okay, I'm back to like 220. I'm back to my workout shape. I should be fine. But it was a different 220 than the 220 I had graduated from high school with. That 220 was like lifting 4 days a week, heavy, hard, squatting, deadlifting, and getting into a physique. Whereas this 220 was like a weird, doughy 220. It was like a pudgy 220. And I was like, I don't know why I don't look like I did before, realizing I had not lifted weights all of freshman year. Like maybe I would go to the gym every now and then, but in reality, like I was not getting there consistently. It was more often I was going to the bar or somewhere else than I was getting into the gym. Lost the weight to 220, was like, okay, I'm 220. As long as I bounce between 220 and 225 through the summer, I should be fine to lifeguard. Bounce between 220, 225, go back to school, and then I would proceed to gain like the freshman 15 to 20 again. This time now at closer to like 240. Come back, I'm like, okay, slim fast diet, let's go back again. But then I'm losing and I'm getting to like 235. And again, not lifting consistently. Legs are a little doughier. Midsection is a little doughier. Like it's a doughier 230. Everyone get that? Like essentially rinsing and repeating and gaining about an extra 5 to 10 pounds each year because I'm doing this crash diet and then living on a diet of beer, binging, and restricting. After weight loss surgery, it was the greatest thing ever because this was the first time I had had a summer that I was proud of myself. I kind of had surgery June of 2020. I spend the next year getting in shape. I'm down 50 pounds that first summer because I had lost the 50 prior to surgery and then kept chomping off so that by the end of the summer, I want to say I'm like close to 280, 270, but like feeling amazing. Next summer, I get down to 220 and I'm good, but I look like a greyhound on the pool deck and realize that I did not like this physique. Spend the next summer lifting weights, bulking up everything, get to 250 and realize like, yes, now I am muscular, but I am definitely doughier on the pool deck. So I started to realize like, what can I do so that I can get off the hamster wheel of constantly dieting, bulking and cutting, getting everything together and really figuring it out. And for a lot of people, they kind of follow this same model or belief. They believe like if I start dieting in May, then they can get shredded by June. They're always talking about like that last 10 to 15 pounds. And the way that many people do that is very similar to what I did prior to bariatric surgery. It was living on protein shakes or whatever you can count Slim Fast as. It's this like binging and restricting like routine that just never ends. There's detox fads where you might be drinking apple cider vinegar or doing all liquid diets. And then fitness challenges where you are just kind of crushing Peloton workouts or slamming like 2-a-days saying this is the exact way to lose weight. And in reality, yes, if you are living in a caloric deficit and you are slamming your body that hard and burning all those extra calories, you 100% will lose weight. The problem with that model, though, is it's just really not sustainable. And because it's not sustainable, it's almost impossible to keep. So you end up doing this cycle of you work your tail off for maybe a month or two, you drop like 10 to 12 pounds, and then you stop doing all those things and the weight just comes rushing right back. What we do in Busy Bariatrics is a totally different model than that. And it's what we really want to talk about, what it really takes, when you should be getting started, and how you should look at it. We kind of in New Jersey hit, as of this recording, last week it hit 55 degrees, which for New Jersey is like the first time it feels kind of springish and everyone just goes bananas. People are like setting fire to their winter jackets. They're starting to put patio furniture out. And in reality, in New Jersey, it's like fake spring. Like it's not real spring, people. It is back this week down to 30s and 40s and absolutely freezing. But it's a really good reminder of summer is coming. I'm going to have to get out on the pool deck. And how should I get started? As this recording comes out, it should be the beginning of March. And I'm here to tell you that if we start now, we're going to get ourselves a lot of better results, for lack of better words. I always look at it as if we are planning ahead and we are putting everything in process, we should really be looking at what a sustainable fat loss system should have, which is about 1 to 2 pounds per week. Now, if you're in your first year after bariatric surgery, you should be losing at a different rate, or you could be losing at a more accelerated rate. But if you are just a bariatric patient who is in maintenance, and you're saying to yourself, I want to get about 15 pounds down for this summer, then now's really the time you want to start. You have all of March, you have all of April, May, that's really like 12 weeks now. By July 4th, you could be about 15 to 20 pounds down, feeling fit, feeling fabulous, and working through all that. The trick, though, is you have to really start now and making sure that you have a clear goal. I remember I am thinking of one client specifically who came to us in January of last year, and he flat out said, I am signing up for 6 months. I am doing this absolutely correct, and I am going to get the summer bod that I wanted. And January is like a really good time for that because he wasn't a big football fan. He kind of said, look, I'm done the holidays. I want to dial in. And we worked on getting his macros together. We worked on getting his fitness together. He was lifting 4 days a week and like clockwork, pound here, pound there. Nothing too crazy, nothing too restrictive, living his best lifestyle, pound here, pound there. Going through each check-in, making sure his body comps are coming in, prioritizing protein, pound here, pound there. Doing a little bit more work, lifting a little bit heavier, dialing in his calendar, timing his carbs out right, pound here, pound there. Next thing you know, he's down like 30 pounds just because he lost about 2 pounds a week for about 15 weeks. And when I tell you, he looked phenomenal in his progress photos and flat out said, I still remember it was like May 1st. And I was like, oh, are you staying for summer camp? He's like, no, I did the work now. Summer is my time to enjoy. And he is out maintaining and living his best life possible. And this is the goal we want for everyone in Busy Bariatrics. It's this idea of build a sustainable habit-based program that works for you and gets everything that you need. And one of the key components of how we did such a good job for this client was we really focused on building muscle. Many times people in Busy Bariatrics come to us and they have not really prioritized strength training. And that's mainly because When we look at our community, a lot of the times we get distracted by fancy objects like burn classes or indoor cycling courses or the shiny new object. Muscle building's a little bit different in the sense that it doesn't get you an immediate result, and you kind of have to do the work week over week over week if you are going to get everything. Also, because you're only losing a pound to 2 pounds a week, it means that you have to stay dialed in on the weekends. You have to consistently do all the work that's going to get your results. And you have to make sure that you are following a program that you feel is sustainable and attainable. The other things that you have to realize is that some people are going to be losing weight. If you are going on social media and looking at everything, you do not know what is going on in other people's journeys. I remember talking to a couple of our amazing clients, and they were talking about how, Betty Lou who lives down the street, had surgery at the exact same time and in the exact same hospital setting, and they're losing twice as much. And it's like, well, you don't really know what they're doing, how they're doing it, or how to really get the development that you want. For us at Busy Bariatrics, we really do try to start you as early as possible, start to build the habits, patterns, behaviors in place that'll get you the result, and continue to work on certain strategies that are going to ensure your success long term. For us, it really is like, if you're starting now, we're going to make sure that your nutrition is dialed in and see really what is the caloric intake that you are taking in. Are you really taking in 1,200 calories, or are you snacking grazing and that number is really 1,700 and we're not getting it? That fine tuning takes time. On top of that, getting you into the gym doesn't mean you're going to get results right away. For some people, this might be the first time they're stepping into the gym in like multiple weeks, if not months. And now they have to do the same routine, and the routine stays the same week over week. And it really doesn't change for a month. That's a little bit harder of an ask. It's not the quick, shiny, fancy object workout. Each workout has a clear, intentional development phase, and we touch upon it in the following week. For people who normally seek dopamine and are chasing a scale, number, and drive, this can be a really tough lesson to learn. But when you do this, it really does help develop the program that you want to have. When we look at it, I've also seen some people say, like, look, that's moving way too slow for me. And they go on, and I see them. They go into their burn classes and they say, I'm going to eliminate my regain really quickly. And next thing you know, they might be down 5 to 7 pounds, but they're starving themselves. They're not eating the proper macro split that works for them. They're not listening to their body. Their sleep is going into the tank. And next thing you know, they're riding and bouncing the same 5-pound weight loss that entire time while spending a lot more money on a fancier program and just not getting the results that they want. That almost always is a perfect category as to how you will end up leading with gaining the weight back once you get out of the summer season. For us in Busy Bariatrics, it's really about like building a habit and lifestyle that works best for you. So if you were looking to lose 12 to 15 pounds, what we would do is we would probably start about now, and we would really look at your calendar and see how many days a week can you possibly work out. For some people, that might be at least 2, for some 3, or up to 5. I've seen some people like try to go to 7, and it's like, you do not need 7. If anything, you need to recover and get your body back to its homeostasis. So even scaling back to about a 3 to 4 day split while we're in the busy season allows your body to rest and recover. Then we would probably dial in your nutrition and make sure that you are eating enough protein, balancing it out with the right types of carbs, and incorporating fats that really help you with your vitamin absorption and your everyday lifestyle, plus for brain function. We then would really look at what is a sustainable approach and start to really get an idea of how we handle the weekends and what's coming up and what hurdles are keeping you from that. It really is a lot more of a work than what you want and possibly do. For me, I actually started about 2 weeks ago, and some things that I am doing right now just to make sure that I am really dialed in and working with my coaches. I am down to 4 days a week lifting from 5 days a week. We're giving our chance a little bit more cardio at this point. So we are increasing and getting intentional with our steps, and we are gently starting to do a little bit more zone 2 work, which during the off season, I don't spend as much time doing just because I'm trying to get into maintenance and relax a little bit. From a nutrition standpoint, this is where like we go from like tracking-ish to tracking. So to give you an idea, at 4 months post-op, I have kind of the same meal for breakfast and kind of the same range of meals for lunch. And then dinner is really just family meals of what we have. And then weekends, I really, like I let my life live. Like if there's pizza on Friday, I might have 2 slices. I might go up to 3. On the weekend, if I have dinner plans, it might be a little bit tracking-ish. So it won't be that razor sharp tracking on the scale that we normally do. As we start to enter into the season and get everything together for the summer months, this is where I kind of have to scale back. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, which was amazing, but I've had like 5 or 6 weeks of just straight up drinking on the weekends and celebrating the games. And it's almost refreshing not having to drink on the weekend. So having a little bit more clarity there, allowing myself a little bit more sleep. I will work on the weekends and focus on my heavier lifts with Adam and get everything together and move from there. And then really it comes down to just making sure that I am really dialing in my weekend. So where before Friday might be 3 slices of pizza, might be a couple dino nuggies off my kid's plate, instead, I'm really focusing on like having a cheesesteak or something that really scratches the dopamine itch for Fridays. As a Catholic, we are coming into Lent, so my meals are going to look a little bit different on a Friday night. It could be something I really like, which is just a shrimp and rice teriyaki combo, and I make a big bowl of that, and then I'll have a tuna fish sandwich for lunch. And breakfast is kind of the same old tried and true of it's a protein shake and a banana. And then it's really just a lunch of like a big salad and maybe some shrimp. That's kind of what we do for Lent. But as we're starting to get down, I have to realize if I want to be a little bit more leaner and tighter, I need to kind of dial in a little bit more. And that's why like trying to stay locked in and doing everything right off the bat may not be the best approach. Having reasons and seasons for doing all of this really does give a better look for it. So if you are thinking about what you need to do to get yourself ready for summer, you really want to start thinking of what can we do now and implement now. I will tell you, this is a shameless plug of if you are looking to get ready for summer, now is the best time to join because we are getting ready for summer camp in Busy Bariatrics. And if you remember last year, we had an amazing speaker panel. This year's panel, I promise you, is absolutely more bananas than last year's. Last year's was phenomenal. And some of the speakers that you'll see us dropping and sharing are some of the best in the industry, not just the bariatric community, but for the entire community. And some people who really work well on mindset, who work on getting you to lift heavy, what it takes to sustain fat loss, and really get to those extra critical points that you need in order to do well. When we look at that, if you are thinking about it, message me what you want to do for summer, and that's something that we can do. I also just wanted to hop on because this is the end of season 1. This is kind of like a little in-between podcast episode that I wanted to do. Season 1, I really put together all of the busy method, and go back and listen if you haven't gotten a chance. But also, I wanted to share a little bit of the behind the scenes of what went in to make this season. So when we came to it, it was close to the end of the summer, and I started working with Nick Dwyer, who is an amazing videographer, and he helped me set up what I needed for my podcast, how we could get launched, how we could get the camera together, and we had to like rehaul the studio. So you see like the background behind me is all part of Nick's vision. The fact that it looks like we have proper walls and a better camera and microphone are all kind of little tips and tricks that Nick has really helped me to develop and get together for everything. On top of that, we wanted to make sure that you got a better idea of where the habits-based coaching comes in, as well as what we do in Busy Bariatrics to be successful, as well as a little bit of my origin story. On top of that, we kind of really started to look at like, what did we want this podcast to be? And we shot our promo stuff. We set up everything onto YouTube. And I have to tell you, it is a lot more than I thought it would be. I thought I'm good at talking. All I have to do is keep talking and we will be good from here. And it was a lot of work. But just like anything that you really want, it was super, super helpful. You'll see, like with the background, we had to drill these into the wall. And my lifting buddy, Adam, we went to the Lowe's Home Depot and we bought all the supplies and we had to cut a piece of wood. And he flat out told me I needed to do it. He saw me comically do a poor job of cutting the wood and pretty much is like, how did your dad own a hardware store and you don't know how to do this? And I think it's because my dad really didn't want me to cover any of that. But with that in mind, those are like the little behind the scenes of what it took to launch the podcast. We are continuing to play and toggle with the mic as well as the camera. And we're also looking at like just what's going to work for the podcast. So if you're listening to this and you're like, Rob, I love the format, I love the settings, go ahead and share on Instagram because that's kind of where I hang out in social media the most. And let me know what you like about the episodes and what you don't like about the episodes, or who you want to see in future episodes, which leads us to season 2. Season 2 is going to be all about nutrition, and this is a really cool setup that we have. I have brought in some of my favorite bariatric dietitians from about throughout the community to record episodes on proteins, carbs, fats, and everything else. So the next like 2 to 3 months are going to be very nutrition heavy of what it takes to dial in your nutrition from these standpoints, but also some of the best voices in our community just sharing what did it take to get involved in the bariatric community? How do they choose to become a bariatric dietitian? What is it like working with them? I wanted to give you more of an industry standard because there's so many podcasts out there that just explain, here's how proteins work, here's how carbs work, here's how fats work. And really, like a lot of our episodes do follow that format. But in other senses, we do want to give a little bit of the pull back the curtain, give a look at how they started their businesses and what it takes to go on. So in the next couple of weeks, you'll see season 2 launch, and it really is a cool thing to do. But the even crazier part is because it took so long to like get set up with like Apple and get everything from YouTube, some of these episodes I have recorded close to 4 to 5 months ago, like early October and November. So it's been nice to even just message these dietitians, be like, hey, remember when we recorded 5 months ago and it seemed like this was never coming out? Well, it's coming out. There's also a couple interviews for season 3 that are going to be like that, where it was people who I had a quick opportunity to record with, and I really wanted to capture it because of where they were in their journey. And those episodes are eventually going to come out. So like everything in Busy Bariatrics, it's a lot of behind the scenes, but it's also, this is what we're kind of doing to make everything work, and that it gives the proper tone and incantation that you want. Anywho, I'm clearly getting tired and I might be rambling on, and you're probably too busy to listen to too many more of my musings, but I figured I would come on and I would just give a clear idea of what does it take to lose fat in order to get your summer body. If you are still listening and you have any questions, message me and we'll have a conversation of summer camp and how we can help with that. But as always, if you want more from our content, please go ahead and hit subscribe to our YouTube page, Busy Bariatrics, for more in-depth content. If you like this episode, the best way you can help support the show is by leaving a 5-star rating and review. And every week, we will be giving away one free product from our sponsors and announcing the winner on our Friday email list. So be sure to subscribe there as well. If you feel the episode can help someone, screenshot it and drop it in your stories with a link to the episode, and tag me too, because even if you don't feel like going through all that process and putting a link, even like a talking head video of you saying like, hey, this is what I got out of the episode, and drop it. We have an amazing sponsorship with Legion. And although Legion does not directly sponsor the podcast, the cool thing is they let me give away products. So if you share it, maybe we'll send you some love. If you put it in your stories or leave a review, we give away a product each week. But go out there, pound the pavement. Let me know what you get out of these episodes and what could really help you on your bariatric journey. Also, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, there's a whole bunch of links of things that can help you in the show notes. So let me know if there's something that you need or how I can help. Anyway, I'm getting way too busy to go through all this, so I'm going to hit stop. And as always, keep getting busy.